Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is kind of exciting. I'm going to be introducing a new, I'm gonna say series to my channel. So basically, I want to talk more about brow products. As I've said here before, I love the Anastasia Dip Brow. I've been using it for years. I am starting to look around at other products, trying other brow products. I mean, I love the Dip Brow so much that I kind of just ignore all other products because I know I like it and that it works for me. But I have been starting to look around at other products to see if there is anything else I can use. Not to say that I want to like replace using Dip Brow as like my main brow product or anything like that, but you know, it is a high-end product and I don't remember how much it is. I've bought this so many times and I can't tell you off the top of my head. So I want to say it's like 20 bucks. I'm gonna actually look on Ulta though to see how much it actually is. Okay, so it's 18 bucks and it comes in 11 different colors. The shade range for that is actually pretty good because I feel like most brow products only come in like about 5 shades. Like it's very typical for it to be a very small amount of ranges, which is hard for me because I have red hair but my natural eyebrows are black, so I have to kind of go into like a more red, like brown color without being too light or too dark, basically. So I just thought it would be kind of fun to talk about brows more, to compare products and everything like that. So I've decided to bear with me on this one, but I've decided to call this Battle of the Brows. So basically, I'm going to take one product and do one eyebrow and then the other product and do the other eyebrow and compare what they look like, the overall, like how the product works, and price point and everything like that. Alright, so basically it's just going to be comparing brow products. It won't always be like a pomade versus pomade or anything like that, or high-end versus drugstore. Sometimes it could be drugstore and drugstore or something like that. And it may not always be just comparing two products. Maybe it might be a little bit different. But for today, I'm going to test out well, not test out, but I'm going to be comparing the Anastasia Dip Brow to the Wet n Wild pomade. And I started using this Wet n Wild pomade when I filmed the Wet n Wild full face video, and I really liked it, so I was interested to see the differences between the two. They may not be like identical in shade ranges, like they might not be the most comparable colors. I am starting to go a little bit darker with my brows, so as far as the colors go, they might be a little off, but just today we're mainly just kind of brain fart, hold on. Just comparing the products and giving you more options versus, you know, basically seeing what one's better, or if there is another product that you can use in the drugstore versus going high-end, or, you know. I will say before I start this, I don't think that like I'm ever going to stop using Dip Brow. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to just explore more brow products, basically. Okay, so the Dip Brow that I've been using the most is the one in chocolate, and I'll just show you. So this is the packaging. It comes in a little container like this, and it comes with 0.14 ounces of product. You just unscrew the top, and that's what it looks like on the inside. I'm about halfway through, I think, and sometimes Dip Brow is known to kind of dry out, so what I do is I take a paper towel and kind of just take off the top layer, and then usually what's underneath it is still like fresh and easy to use. I know I've heard people say that they can use like baby oil or something if it like completely like is really dry, but usually using the paper towel, it's worked for me. So I usually just take the paper towel and then kind of clean off the top part, and then I'm left with what's underneath. So I have the pomade in chocolate, and this is the one that I've been using for quite some time now. I actually was using Auburn beforehand, but I am trying to go a little bit darker with my brows, so I've been using the chocolate one for, I'm gonna say about a month or so, maybe even more than that. And usually I use the Anastasia 7B brush. I have a couple other ones. I do like the NYX brush as well. It's just an eyebrow brush from them, and it is cheaper than the Anastasia one. I think the NYX one is $18, I believe. So this is, I'll show you the NYX one just to give you options of brushes to work with. So this is the NYX one, has a spoolie on the other end, and same thing with the Anastasia one. So this is the end of it, and then the spoolie end of it. And I'm just letting you guys know, I learned this like sometime last year, but it's extremely important to make sure that you're cleaning off the spoolie ends of your brushes too. I've seen some crazy stories of people like having really bad like infections on their face because not cleaning the spoolie end of the brush. So if you didn't know that already, make sure that you clean this part. I don't necessarily clean it every time I clean this part off, but making sure that you are cleaning it is crucial. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see, I'm trying to decide what brow I want to start with. This one isn't my good brow, this one's my good brow. So I don't know if I want to start with the Anastasia on the good brow or what one I want to go where. And actually, before I start with applying the brow products, I did mention I was going to use the Wet n Wild pomade, but just so you guys know, this is what it looks like. And then this is in the shade Brunette, and this has considerable amount less in here, so it's 0.008 ounces versus the 0.14 ounces, and there is a price difference. The Wet n Wild one, let's just pull that up while we're talking about it. Okay, so the Wet n Wild pomade it retails for, oh my god, I just closed my phone, $4. So $4 versus $18, and the shade that I have is in Brunette, and then this is that's the inside of it. So it is just a smaller packaging in general. I will say I do like the packaging of Dip Brow better. It's a little easier to work with. This Wet n Wild one has its own little like applicator that it comes with, and so I feel like the design of this is really so you only use this versus anything else. But with a pomade, I really prefer an angled brush, so it is kind of a pain to use this with this. It's just, you know, it's just a smaller area, and not that you have to be more patient with it, but I just feel like this works so much better with the kind of brush that I like to use. But I really feel like this was designed specifically so you use this with this, and that's probably it. Probably wouldn't use anything else with it unless you use a different brush. This brush is kind of bigger as far as like, so the angled part is a little bit bigger than some of the other brushes that I have, but I do prefer this one. So I actually think I'm gonna start with the Wet n Wild one instead of the Anastasia one, just because I have more experience with the dip brow, so I'm gonna use that one on my not as nice eyebrow and use the Wet n Wild one on my good eyebrow. Okay, so now that we're a little bit closer, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Anastasia brush, the one that I already showed you, the angled brush, and I'm gonna start with the Wet n Wild pomade. Just dip a little bit in there and kind of just clean it off of on the edges of the container, because I don't think I need too much. And before I use any of the product, I'm just going to go in with the spoolie and kind of just shape my eyebrows. Does anyone else ever have like mysterious little like specks of glitter on them? Because I have one like right above my brow and I have no idea where it would have come from. Okay, so I usually start like right in here. So I just start with a little line and then I go to the end of the eyebrow. And then once I've gotten a decent amount of the product off, I kind of start going towards the inner part. And this isn't going to be like a full tutorial or anything like that on how I do my brows. Mainly just kind of testing out the two different brow products. So it will be speeding up the process a little bit. So I took more product and I just want to make this a little more defined. I didn't go in with enough product originally. So now that I have a nice shape underneath, I take a little bit more product and then I angle the top part of my brow. So since I've used these products already, I will say that the one difference that I already kind of know about between this and the Dip Brow is the Wet n Wild one feels more waxy. It's a little more of like a harder consistency. So in that regard, I actually kind of like it more because I feel like it's a little bit easier to work with. Like it's a little more forgiving and you can like build it up more, where with the Dip Brow it's really easy to go too heavy handed and then it looks a little like too much. So then I kind of just take the product that I have and kind of just work it into the brow a little bit more. This is a little bit more of a natural look for me, and I've actually really been liking it. So I am going to take a little more product and then just kind of deepen up this area. And just slowly start working into the inner corner. And before I go any further, I like to take some breaks and kind of just brush the brows a little bit and then keep going. And then I'm going to take whatever I have left on the brush and kind of just put more detail into this inner corner right here. And then what I like to do once I feel like I have a good kind of shape going on in here, with whatever's left on the brush, I make more like hair-like strokes. So I'll take it vertically. There we go. I couldn't think of the word. Vertically, and kind of just make little strokes in the direction that my hair goes, basically, to make it look like there's a little more fluffy supermodel eyebrows going on than there actually is. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of brush this out a little bit more, and let's just add a little more depth to this. And then I always use a brow mascara too, so I feel like that really helps with making the eyebrows look a little more natural in the front when a little too ham. So let's try to get a little bit closer. So that's kind of what it starts out looking like, and then I always do brow mascara at the end, and then this compared to no product at all on this brow. Alright, so now we're going to get ready to do the other brow, and yeah. Okay, so now it's time to try or do the other side with the Anastasia Dip Brow. So just pick up a little bit of product on my brush. And the one thing I love about this is that you can use the cap See, like this. Clearly I do this all the time. You use the cap to like take off any excess product, like if you put too much on there. That way you don't go in like super heavy-handed or anything like that. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to film this without covering it up. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on this eyebrow, so I'm probably going to speed up the process of this and not talk as much as I did with this one. Almost forgot to brush the brows. For some reason, this brow, well, other than the shape being different, it's always a little harder for me to kind of make this a little more natural in here. I feel like it kind of just goes like product and then nothing. Where this one is just a little bit easier to get like a nicer gradient in here. So I'm actually kind of surprised. The colors are a little more similar than I thought they would be, and I don't remember if I showed them side by side or not. So this is the Anastasia one. My fingers, look at my finger's being weird. Okay, so this is the Anastasia one, and then this is the Wet n Wild one. By looking at them in the containers, I definitely thought that this one was more warm tone and this one was more cool toned, and that this one was probably going to be darker. I've used them both like separately on their own, and I definitely thought that the Wet n Wild one was darker, but looking at them like side by side, this one definitely is more warm, or not warm tone, cool tone, and it's a little bit, maybe it is a little bit darker, and this one's definitely more warm. But I mean, for the most part, I think the colors are really, really similar, and honestly, I was going to take at least one of the eyebrows off and just match up the other one with the same product. I really don't think I need to do that. Which is really surprising because I was totally prepared to do that. Hold on, I'm oily. Yeah, I was really, like, I was prepared to do that, and I really don't think that I need to do that. But let's see. Let me do a little bit of brow mascara and to kind of finish it up a little bit. And then, so I only have one brow mascara. I use the Wet n Wild one. This one is in the shade Nothing But Brunette. So it's this here. And I think I showed you guys this a couple times before, but this is, so it's just like a little spoolie with product on it. And what I do definitely need to take some of this product off. But basically, if this was like a normal makeup day and I was doing my foundation, I go back in and I put the brow mascara on as like the very last step. So I'll do my eyes and my foundation, and then I go back in and do my brows. Well, I do my brows first, but I do like touch-ups because sometimes I feel like I go too ham with the foundation and I, you know, kind of take off some of my brows. So I go back in with a little bit of pomade if I have to, and then I finish everything with the brow mascara. So I'm just going to take the brow mascara and just do, basically I only really use it in this part here. And that's just to make it look a little more fluffy, a little more natural, have my eyebrows look a little more full than they are, because I know my eyebrows, I don't usually do them, or I don't do them very naturally. Like, these definitely don't look like natural brows, you know. I don't just like fill them in. Like, I literally just, I fill them in, I shape them, I do, like, they're very, I'm gonna say they're very extreme. But at least this, I feel like it kind of helps add a little more depth to the brows and make them look a little more natural. So I just do a couple strokes in there. Sometimes I kind of do it in like a different direction and then kind of straighten it back up and then have the hairs fall kind of in the natural way that they would, and I'll take it a little bit to the tail of it, but other than that, that's kind of where I stop it. I do want a little bit more definition in here, and I think it just helps the brows just look a little more natural. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other eye. You have to be pretty light-handed with brow mascara too, because it's just like a regular mascara. If you go too crazy, put too much on, it's really easy to just get it stuck. I don't know, it's just too, it's easy to go ham, and then like sometimes I'll get little like mascara dots like in here, and then you have to wait for it to dry, and sometimes it can be kind of hard to clean up. Just like a regular mascara, how like if you put too much on, or if you like blink and it's not dry, it gets like stuck in here and you kind of have to wait for it. The brow mascara is basically the same. So, and that's what it looks like with the brow mascara on. I feel like it just really, I don't know, it's a nice like finishing touch, and I think it just makes them look even more like, I don't know, they're just, I don't know, it just makes it look a little different, like, but in a good way, like gives you more detail and like structure, but also in a way where it looks natural, which is nice. So I'm gonna fix the angle of my camera, and then I'm just gonna briefly talk about the two products, and that will be all. So, I mean, I'm still looking at this, like, okay, now that I'm looking at it, this one, I don't know, I always have to point. So the left eyebrow it looks lighter, and it's definitely more brown or like warm. This one looks a little darker to me and a little more natural, and it also it's got more of like a, I don't know if gray tone would be the right way to like describe it, but looks a little more like ashy. Maybe it has more of a black undertone, I'm not sure. But when you see the products together, you can definitely see, and now that I'm seeing it, just casually knocking things over. But now that I'm looking at it from here, there definitely is a difference of the color. I feel like it's really not that noticeable. Let's see. Okay, it's pretty noticeable. But I think it's like slight enough where like I could probably wear these eyebrows the rest of the day and not have anyone really notice, especially if I just take a little bit of this and then add it to this eyebrow. And I might possibly do that. So hey, eyebrows are hard work, and I don't want to have to do them again. So hopefully I don't have food in my teeth, because I definitely took a Chipotle break in the middle of this. But yeah, I think that these are actually pretty similar in the way that they look and the way that they work. But, well, okay, they definitely work in different ways. The Wet n Wild one is a little more, I'm gonna just describe it, and I know I said this earlier, it's a little more waxy, it's a little harder of a formula, it's not as soft. So I don't know if maybe the Anastasia one is more oil based, and this one, I don't know if it would be wax based or what it would be. I'm gonna say, I'm not sure, I'm actually really not sure exactly what products go into making a brow product, but this one is a little, so the Wet n Wild one is a little, just a little more stiff. I guess that would be like the best way of describing it. That being said, I feel like you do have to use, or it takes a little more time to build up, but I feel like this actually looks more natural and gives you like a little bit of a I don't know if you can see. I don't know, I guess they, you know, they just look so similar to me that I keep wanting to describe the Wet n Wild one as being different than the Anastasia one, and overall the looks of it, it really doesn't look that different to me other than the color. The colors are definitely not the same, so I don't know if there would be a, like, say if you want to completely, like, use this as a dupe or something. I don't know. There's probably a different Anastasia one that you can use instead. I think there definitely is like a couple other shades I think that you could use. I don't know if they have like if it's dark brown or what it's called, but there is another one that may be closer in comparison to what this shade is. But yeah. Okay, anyways, getting a little sidetracked. They look really similar to me other than the color. The way that they work is different too. This one, like I said, it's a little more waxy. I'm not going to say you need more time with it, but I think that it's like, it's easier to build up because it's not as like, and this isn't the right word, like liquidy, but this is definitely a softer formula, so I feel like the Anastasia one is a lot easier to accidentally go heavy-handed. And when I mentioned earlier that I wipe the product off, is I do that because there's so many times where I've accidentally had too much product on that I've just made my brows just way too dark and unnatural, and it was kind of hard to backtrack from that. So once you put that product down, it's easy to build up and be like light-handed with it and kind of just work with the product that you have on the brush. But if you put too much on, it's kind of hard to go back from that. And I feel like the Wet n Wild formula is definitely a lot easier to work with in terms of you don't really have to worry about accidentally putting too much product on because the consistency is different and just the way that it works is different. They are very similar, and it's kind of hard to explain. The formula of it, I feel like this one would be a lot harder to accidentally go overboard with versus the Anastasia one. But I mean, obviously, I love both. Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm never going to use the Anastasia one again, but I just think it's a good, and like, I think it's fun to like, I was going to say compromise. To compare. It's good to compare and give you options of the fact that you can use other brow products. There's so many brow products out there that give you similar looks, and I don't know, like, how each one would be like differently, like wearing it throughout the day, if one would smudge and one wouldn't and all of that. If you guys are interested in that, I could definitely try that out. But you know, for the price difference and the fact that one is $18 and the other one is $4, it's just really interesting to kind of compare them and see the differences of them. And I have been using the Wet n Wild one a little more often. I've just been liking that formula a little bit more. So, but yeah, I mean, they're both great products. I don't prefer one over the other. I've been using the Wet n Wild one more, but I mean, I don't know. As far as the end result, other than the color, they look so similar to me. Like, I honestly can't pick a favorite of what one I like more, and I could be leaning towards this one because this eyebrow's better, but you know, how about you guys let me know what one you like better? Maybe I'm just being biased because I think this one is my best eyebrow, so maybe it would be different if I switched the eyebrows, but who knows? But yeah, I just thought that would be a fun video for you guys just to show you different brow products and compare them. I'm definitely going to keep doing more. This is just the first video in what's going to be a series on this channel. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing it, but I definitely want to keep doing more and more videos like this. Maybe not always pomades, maybe comparing pencils and like brow mascaras and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't have a clear winner of what one I like more, but you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, give me a second. I'm going to do a poll on my Instagram, and before this video is over, I'm gonna let you guys know what one won. So I'll be back in a couple minutes and I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I wanted to see what people thought about the eyebrows, what one they thought was better. I'm gonna say, so people were saying they liked this eyebrow better. I'm not gonna wait that long to see like what everyone thinks, just because I got another video to film. So I've been hearing that people like this eyebrow. I'm gonna say I like this one. And mainly just because I think I just like the formula of the Wet n Wild one. At least for right now, I'm really liking the formula of that one just a little bit more. I do love Dip Brow, and it does give you like a fuller, definitely does give you like a fuller coverage. I think this one ends up looking a little more natural. But oh, I don't know, I'm so torn because they look really close to me. Like they really, other than the color and the obvious difference of the fact that the shape of my eyebrows are different, they're just so close to me, and I feel like I should pick a winner because I'm gonna be calling this Battle of the Brows. So between this one and this one, I need to pick a winner. I need to look at it a little bit closer. All right, let me get my mirror. Okay, so the right eyebrow versus the left eyebrow. I'm gonna pick the right eyebrow. So the Wet n Wild. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one. Not super confident in the fact that I have to pick one or the other because I think they both look really good. I don't know if it would be different if I had a different color of the Anastasia one, but I've used this one for so long that, you know, it's nice testing other products. But I think overall I'm really liking this eyebrow more than this eyebrow. I never thought I would say that. Like they're both so similar, and I will use both, like hands down. I think maybe the Dip Brow, the next time I get another one, I'm gonna have to get a different color maybe and see, because I am liking this color a little bit more, especially with my hair being a little bit darker right now. But I just feel like this one just looks so much like more natural when you look at it like a little more close up. I don't know, I'm just liking this one a little bit more. I'm liking the formula of it a little bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this one as the winner. But I still love this one, and I'm still gonna use it all the time. So I don't know, I can't believe I'm gonna pick this one over this one. Like they're just so close in the overall look of things. I don't know, maybe I do like this one better. I don't know. I already committed to this one, so I'm gonna say that I pick the Wet n Wild one. Let me see if my poll has changed at all. So I did a poll on my Instagram, and if you don't follow me there already, go ahead and do that, and the link is down below. So if you don't follow me already, make sure that you do that. But let's see. So I asked if people could see the difference between the two eyebrows, and everybody who voted said yes, they could see the difference. I don't think I was super specific on the fact that, like, yeah, the shades are different, but like what one overall looks nicer. But they said they could see a difference. And then I asked what one was better, and everyone so far has said that the left eyebrow is better. I still think the Wet n Wild one's just a tiny bit better, and like I just need to keep looking at it. I don't know, they're just so similar to me, and especially judging off of the color and the formula, I am liking the Wet n Wild one better. So definitely like the color better. That's, you know, that's something that you can always change. But as far as the formula, I'm actually liking the more like, I'm gonna call it, say it's solid, I don't know, just the more like waxy, like kind of feel that this one has. Like it's just a little, it's less, I'm gonna say it's less oily, and I already said this before, but I'm kind of leaning towards the formula of this one a little bit more than I am the Dip Brow. So that's surprising, and I think that was a successful first video of this Battle of the Brows, because I am so excited to start looking at other products that I can like compare and stuff. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was interesting and entertaining. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it. If you did like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And I feel so nerdy doing that. But make sure you give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.